Hey, welcome back to another edition of Ego and Break. I'm your host, Dynamite J. Andrews. Got the Mississippi Madman, Logan Creed sitting right there.
That's me.
And today we're going to talk about some wrestling. Got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of cool stuff as far as I'm concerned with AEW Dark. But before we get into that, you watched the David Arquette video.
Yes.
You Can't Kill David Arquette.
Yes, it's on Amazon. I paid the $5 for it.
Yeah.
Did
you buy it or rent it?
I rented it.
Okay.
That was a rent. You get it for 24 hours. I thought you got it a little longer, but you don't. It's well worth the money. I have a lot more respect for David Arquette after watching it.
Yeah.
This guy, literally, his first match back was in a backyard. I swear to God, backyard, and I mean.
I bet that was a sellout. Former WCW champion.
No, these guys.
That's all I would have put on it. I've never put his name. I just put like
he
WCW
come out
champion.
as the Magic Man, like, and he had this horrible cape from some hokey movie or something, and he throws out streamers. He wound up keeping the streamer things. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, he straight up wrestles a backyard match.
That's cool.
And that's the first time he comes back.
Who do you wrestle?
Some fat white guy.
Magic
remember.
Morrow.
But I mean, he tried to work around it. He even told the guy, like, I'm not really trained. I never got to train.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a match, and it led him to go into a school kind of like ours was. And he was training with Average Joes. That's the part in the trailer where you hear the guy go, "We don't have stunt men here."
Yeah.
Because he's learning everything at that show.
Well, that's cool. I mean, it's cool they did at least try to attempt to get some kind of training.
Oh no, he did. And then he goes to. I think he went to DDP, talked to him a little while, and DDP hooked him up with somebody in Lucha Federation down in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes down there. And like, he's just nervous, man. This guy has like some truly emotional baggage built up for this crap. And he starts hitting the rope, and like the first thing, I don't know if it's the first time I wanted to teach him to do, but they were trying to teach him how to do a rana, like running off the rope and jump up and give a rana. And he tried it like 4 times, and you see the fat guy in in Spanish say, if he can't take this shit, he can get the fuck out of my ring. And I mean, it's straight up that. Wow. You know, maybe David didn't understand it because it was in Spanish, but next thing you know, David hits the fucking rana. So, and he winds up doing a 6-man tag down there. It's pretty good. He starts doing dives to the floor, and like that match kind of got him like started on big trend on the internet. But it was cool because at the end of the match, one of the guys that was training him takes his mask off and gives him his mask.
Oh, that's
and
pretty
even
cool.
David's like got in tears over it. He's like, man, this means a lot. He goes, they don't do this.
Yeah.
And they went on top of this mountain cliff. I don't know if it's mountain, big hill, something. But they're just all kind of standing there. It was a cool view.
Yeah.
But I mean, the end of the thing is, well, no, I guess I can't skip that. I don't want to give away all the spoilers, but you know, at one point he got in a match with Nick Cage, and there was a spot where he got his neck was cut. Well, like he went from highs to highs to getting on the indies and getting all his respect, and he's like, finally, I did it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, everybody shits on that match because he got hurt.
Got it. Yeah.
And you hear Jim Cornette going, "What are these 2 dumb motherfuckers doing in here, cutting their damn necks?" And look at him, he don't know what the hell he's doing. And it was like his ego just went shoo.
Yep. Well, again, Cornette's one of those.
Well, no,
like,
it was, but it was
Cornette,
and it was everybody. You know, it was all these people that went from, you know, oh well, he's finally earned our respect, to look at this dumb fucker's doing a garbage match. Because
welcome to the internet.
There is a point at the very beginning of the show. I didn't tell you this part, but the guy that did the backyard wrestling had booked like a signing show, and bro, there's nobody at his table. Nobody would come up to him. Wow. And everybody's like, I don't give a fuck about David Arquette. He's the biggest humiliation ever in wrestling.
David, I would have got your autograph.
And
got my.
And I was like, man, I was like, I don't hate the guy that much. I understood that he was doing what he was asked to do.
Yeah, it wasn't
but
his
I mean,
fault.
bro, these people would not go to his table. I mean, every table had a person, but he was sitting there just like. And he finally gets up and walks around, starts introducing himself to people and buying their gimmicks.
Yeah.
Because he's a big wrestling fan. But the end of the show is basically him and Ken Anderson fighting each other.
Oh, cool.
And they have a really good match. I ain't gonna say it, 5-star or anything, but it's a good match. David is actually a very good wrestler.
Would you book him?
Yes, in a heartbeat. The final thing they show, and I did not know this, but remember the guy from 90210, Jungle Boy's daddy? Can't think of his damn name, but you know who I'm talking about. He was the guy
Luke Perry.
see. That's it, Luke Perry. He was the one that was wrapping the towel around David's neck when he got his neck cut. Because you don't realize, because he had such a scraggly beard at the time. I didn't know it was him.
But that means Jungle Boy was probably on that show then.
It's possible, yeah. But Luke died before he could. He was supposed to wrestle his son later on, Jungle Boy, and that's the last match you see him wrestling.
Okay.
So I thought that was cool how it went off.
So definitely gets the
oh
thumbs
no,
up.
big time thumbs up. I'd watch it again. Like, I want to find a hard copy to buy. I don't know if you can.
Right.
Probably something you got to order offline. But it kind of remember the Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah.
At one point where Nigel just snaps and cries and all that. You kind of get that at the beginning here.
Yeah.
But
so it's real, like,
yeah,
or at least as real as
it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of editing. I'd like to see a Blu-ray or DVD to see what isn't in there. You know what I mean? But no, I give it high thumbs up. You're going to see stuff on there that I wish other guys would try to do. I mean, maybe people are scared they're not David Arquette, you know what I mean?
Right.
But he was even saying like 10 years, and he goes, I can't even get a damn booking on a movie because of wrestling. So,
wow.
But I mean, that literally tore his career up, period. Like wrestling, movies, everything.
It ruined it and made it all at the same time. You know?
But hopefully after the coronavirus, because that dude's he's on the up here. I didn't realize he's as old as he is. Like, he was in his late 40s.
Yeah.
But I'd book him in a heartbeat.
Who'd you book him against?
With us?
Yeah. Why not a little fantasy booking?
Nightmare.
We're close. I was going to say Ursa. Just because I think it could be interesting. If not him, honestly, I'd probably do like some big multi-man tag or something. So,
yep. And
yeah, well, he would have to carry it all by himself.
Or Jim Sterling.
Ooh. Could you imagine a Jim Sterling versus David Arquette match?
At least a promo.
That'd be awesome. Sterling. Would you want Sterling or Stardust?
No, I'd rather have Stardust on that one. Yeah.
Stardust versus David Arquette. Holy smokes, that would be phenomenal. Hey, Jim, if you're watching, please don't steal our idea.
Hey, he got to go on the show last weekend. I was jealous of him. So I hope he's out there doing good. I saw he stole somebody's belt.
Oh, shit. Oh, sticky fingers.
Sticky finger Sterling. But you know, a belt ain't safe around Sterling.
Yeah, no doubt. He definitely has a way around gold.
That's it.
To be called Sterling. Yeah.
That's it.
You think he would be more attracted to like silver items? But
exactly.
Not him. He's a gold guy.
Yeah, everybody, he's strong.
But yeah, so no, I think the David Arquette would be really cool. I don't know how well people would come out and support it, but it's hard to get people to support wrestling here anyway. So
to me, it would just be different. I mean, I really think there's a lot the guy can add to it. Kind of like Jim added to us when he come to Ego. You know, it brought in a different crowd. I think he would bring in a different crowd.
Oh, absolutely. Either that, or I'd love to book like Jerry Lawler and have kind of a almost a remake of like Ready to Rumble. I mean, it's not actually the King from Ready to Rumble, but
I think at one point he was doing the crown me move.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to crown me. I like Ready to Rumble. It's an awesome movie.
You know, when I was watching it, I really thought, I was like, you know, he reminded me of the greatest women's champion ever. Man on the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman, thank you. I was like, this is about as close as it gets.
You know, if Chikara was still around and like if in a, you know, if anything was possible world, if it was like Andy Kaufman, him and Jim Sterling. Oh, Stardust.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Like
so AEW Dark.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about 3 episodes behind.
I just watched
maybe
week.
4 episodes behind of AEW Dark, and I'm going to go watch at least one of those because Donnie Janela.
Yeah, he's in a tag team.
Kung Fu Janela. I want to see his match. Donnie's a cool guy. and I definitely want to watch that. Did he wrestle as Kung Fu Janela?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
No,
I didn't see it.
So
I know it's a tag match because I went through and looked,
Mhm.
but I watched this week's. I didn't watch it.
I got you.
It was last week.
yeah, I watched this week's and not most of last week's. I watched like the first 2 or 3 matches and then skipped a couple in the middle and watched the very last one. Last week's main event was 5 and 10 of the Dark Order versus the Nightmare Family.
Yes.
And so I just had to skip to that to watch that because, again, really like those guys. Hoping, if possible, I don't know if they're able to take indie bookings or not, but I'd love to have them on the show as Dark Order. Just a huge fan of that. Maybe if it was possible to get maybe like a Brody Lee or Evil Uno promo to go along with it, like he's sending them or something, that'd be pretty cool. So I watched that, and it was a good match. There was one point I thought they were going to win.
I never thought that at all. But okay.
But yeah, so but overall it was solid. But this week's episode, I know you wasn't a huge fan of it, but I thoroughly enjoyed this week's episode.
The
of
matches
AEW
were
Dark.
fine, but it went back to predictable booking. There
Yeah.
wasn't a match one. I didn't know who wasn't
Well,
going to
match
win.
one you didn't know because it was Will Hobbs versus Shawn Legacy.
No, I said Hobbs in the beginning.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
That match was really good. That match was the definition of keep it simple, stupid, and it worked for both
Yeah.
guys. It gave the commentary team to try to put over both people and try to get you over for more than just, ooh, look, he did a move.
And Hobbs was actually in the Battle Royal they had at pay-per-view.
Yep.
And he actually threw a couple of folks out.
Oh, wow.
So maybe they're finally going, hey, this guy
Yeah.
looks like a monster. Let's treat him like one
Yeah.
instead of job him out to one punch from Orange Cassidy.
I love wrestling.
Can I say, my biggest knock on AEW is their booking. Their
Yeah.
booking is awful.
Like I said, I enjoyed it. I don't remember all the matches. It was a bunch of matches. The one thing I did see was that Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler were splitting up. So I kind of hated that.
Oh, did they split them up?
Well, Peter was like, I'm not your partner no more. This town's only big enough for one loser, and it's going to be you. I'm going to show everybody that the world's greatest loser is going to be the winner or something like that. He's like, I've been pretty, I've been the producer, I've been the professional, blah, 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 and I'm going to show you why I am, the librarian. I only took this stupid gimmick. Like, he shot on the gimmick a little bit, like, just because I wanted the job. And so he kind of went off, and Avalon can promo, man. Like, he's such a good promo.
He's actually in the David Arquette movie.
Oh,
He's
is
one
he?
of the people I think helping trade David. So,
Well, that's pretty cool.
wow. Well,
So,
I didn't see that part. Because I watched it like today, like they have them split into matches. So I
Yeah.
had no idea what was the
Yeah.
main event.
And it was pretty funny because somebody was like, ooh, get behind this idea, ordered the t-shirt. T-shirt came in, opened the box, put the t-shirt on, and clicked it. They split up.
No, I was just going to say, I was getting behind them
So,
because I was disappointed they didn't have a matches list.
So I don't know if they're like splitting up or they're just working more to some kind of story or whatever. But yeah, I kind of suck. They've invested 8, and it's crazy. Like, for everybody who thinks you have to go out and win matches, like the last 8 weeks of this programming has been based around them being a tag team and trying to
almost win.
and almost win. And so I mean, for at least 8 weeks, they were basically the whole story of AEW Dark. And neither one has ever won. So like, you don't have to win to be, to be the guy the story's being built
that
around.
hurts my feelings. They're breaking up. That was
yeah.
one of the few reasons I wanted to watch.
Yeah, like, you just kind of get into it.
Wow.
So, but yeah, this week the main event was the British guy and
Something Barrett.
yeah. And who did he take on? I forget.
Rochambeau.
Ricky Starks.
Ricky Stark.
Yeah, it was pretty solid.
It looked like Ricky might have been shooting a little bit at certain points of the match.
I tell you what I like, man. I am so glad that Excalibur and Taz are back doing commentary. Like, they are my favorite commentary team that right now. And I don't listen to a bunch, so I'm sure there's probably somebody doing it better. But I enjoy the chemistry that they got together. Like, they work really, really good together. So, hope AEW kind of keeps that up and keeps pushing them as a group. So,
Well, I was going to ask you, what did you think about how the Colt Cabana match went? Was that weird, or was it just me? Because at first he's working face, and then he starts slowly working heel.
I hated the fact that they kept interrupting the match. but it kind of made sense with the story they were telling. And then I do like he went out to like stop them from doing something. Then he just got vicious
And just beat the out of that guy.
So that was pretty cool. And I wish I remembered all the matches, but I really enjoyed this.
What about
episode.
What's his name? Damn it, can't remember his damn name. Anyway, I'm with you. I mean, it was a good match, but it was just every match was predictable.
Yeah.
Literally,
I mean, it's like watching,
WWE's
WWE's, Sunday morning superstars. Name
last
versus
week
jobber.
it wasn't that way. I really had questionable matches.
But now I do think the one thing they are doing good is they would get these guys that are, unheard of guys. Let's just call it that, and they're introducing them. They're giving them a little bit. Like they've never buried any of these guys, even with the. You said Orange Cassidy punched a guy one time, but again, he must have done that really well because he moved up. That actually helped his career.
Yes.
So you get that Orange Cassidy rub, you move on up. But all these guys are steadily, building, a name, a reputation with the people that are watching. So it's cool that we did get to see the Shawn Legacy versus Will Hobbs, and we did get to see Will Hobbs do that. We did get to see Ben the All Out Casino Battle Royal. Like, you're seeing these guys who you're like, oh, they're just bringing them on here to beat them, but you're seeing these guys little by little get more and more and more. So super cool. Serpentico, he was on there and he wrestled Sonny Kiss, and that was a good match. It's just overall I enjoyed this episode. So definitely recommend everybody checking it out and watching it if you hadn't. Again, when the AEW is bad, we're going to say it's bad. When it's good, we're going to say it's good. We did the same thing for MLW, which I really, really miss. But overall, man, I'd take, it's worth the time to go out of your way to watch it. I mean, it's a little, cumbersome to the point that you got to go on YouTube and watch it and this and that, and you can't just turn your TV on. But, I mean, in reality, I watch most stuff off my phone anyway.
I've got to where I'm that way. I want to ask you one other thing. I don't know if you've seen where NWA is just going to do Aldis versus Bennett. Do you think that's a good idea?
I do.
Well, I'll tell you why I think it's not. Because it now literally looks like Bennett has been nothing but a WWE jobber for the last how many years? I mean, I can tell you the last time he had won a match before he lost his contract. But it just looks like now NWA just got a jobber from WWE. And I think Bennett's a great wrestler. Don't get me wrong on that part.
I will flip that on you.
But it's just his value is not what it was at one time.
I don't view him.
Does that make sense?
I don't view him as a WWE jobber because I probably only seen him in WWE once or twice.
That's you, but I'm talking about people that actually watch
WWE. If you're a WWE fan, you probably already think less of the NWA anyway.
Well, that's true.
And if you're like me, who watches wrestling when he can but doesn't choose WWE, that reputation didn't matter. So overall, for me, I think it's cool because what I remember him being was a star in Ring of Honor.
That's what I remember.
So, the little bit of time he spent in Impact and the time he spent in WWE doing whatever he done, whether it's losing, whatever, I don't really remember any of that. So I'm hoping that there's more of me out there than they are of you.
Well, I'm not saying it's gonna be a bad match or anything, and like I say, I'm not knocking Bennett as a wrestler. I'm knocking. Now,
if he came in and won the title, I'd probably have a problem with it.
I think you probably will.
I don't think so.
I hope not.
I don't think
so.
I don't think you're going to see a major change in anything until they get some sort of normalcy back with their I'm going to say TV.
They're going to start doing like a weekly pay-per-view for their NWA shows, and I think it's a horrible idea to do at this point right now. People are broke. People have lost more jobs in this last few months from this damn virus than in a long damn time in history of mankind, and I don't think it's a good time to be charging people money for wrestling.
I agree with you, but I also spent
YouTube.
$18 on lunch, so I mean, yeah.
You got it in your pocket, I reckon.
You know what I mean? So like, I mean, if people want to see it, they'll make a way to do it. I mean, you just rented a movie for $5 when you probably could be like, I'll save that $5, put another $5 with it, get the pay-per-view.
I don't know how much pay-per-view is.
And then if it's $40, fine. But
you know, I mean,
if they're shooting at $7, $8 or whatever,
$50, and there's no way in hell I'll pay that for a pay-per-view.
Now you had to go back to the old school days where like 12 people got together and rented it, so everybody paid like $8.
That's the only way I'll do it. And then from what everybody's said and all the reviews I've seen off the match is that this is probably the worst AEW pay-per-view they've had.
I honestly hadn't heard anything about it. Like,
I've heard nothing but bad.
I saw one picture of Jericho like floating in the mimosa.
Yeah,
so I'm assuming maybe he lost the match.
Did lose. Point was you had to throw whoever got thrown in the orange juice, whatever, first. Unless my pee in the pool. But
I heard Jericho, like, all I saw was that, and Jericho was put like how he was happy with how the match turned out. But that's literally, I can't tell you anything else happened.
Matt Hardy got knocked unconscious, and they like legit knocked unconscious, and the crowd got really pissed off because they restarted the match, and to go to the football field and redo that bump that you can clearly tell you're landing on a safety mat. So Matt Hardy won the match instead of what's his name? The one through the chair, Eddie.
Darby Allin?
Not Darby Allin.
Sammy Guevara?
Guevara, thank you. I was thinking Gonzalez for some damn reason, but Guevara won. He would have won the match because it was the last man standing match, but instead he took a shitty bump into a bump for a stuntman, and Matt Hardy won. And he's unconscious and has no idea he won. And they said his wife literally was going off saying everybody at that damn building should be ashamed. They should have restarted the damn match. The match had only gone like 2 minutes when the guy got hurt. And AEW was trying to claim he didn't have a concussion, and his wife's like, he 1000% does have a concussion. They're lying to you. So a lot of people have been on AEW pretty hard for that, and like they said, the crowd reaction went dead.
Backstage drama.
I'm just saying, with
Backstage
everything
drama.
it's out there. I mean, everything you've always seen, Rebby has always been on that damn Twitter, chewing somebody's butt, and she chewed everybody's butt that night because she's like, my husband's in the
She's a
hospital,
little firecracker.
and he does have a damn concussion. Y'all a bunch of damn liars. Everybody that was in that match, that anybody said that match should have continued, should be ashamed.
What if Matt was the one that said continue?
He probably did, but which one of us wrestlers has ever got hurt and not said continue? I've only did it once in my life, and I couldn't walk. I've literally put my shoulder back in place in a match and kept going, you know. We're never going to say stop. You know, and I'm not going to say that's right, but, I mean.
Well, I was in a match that I guess I could catch heat for because did a move and I dove outside, and as the guy was bumping for me, brought me down onto his ankle. Didn't break his ankle, but hurt his ankle. And the whole match was to build him, and it was moving into him being higher up on the card or getting a championship match or something. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't for me to win. And he was like, just get back in and I'll, you win by count out. And I'm like, and I gave him some words of encouragement. Get your butt in this ring and I will fall over you and you can pin me. And that's what happened, because I knew a month when they came back he'd be better. He was hurting right at the moment, but a month from now he would probably be glad that it was him and not me. And so I mean, I can get like going, hey, get your butt back in the ring, because if you can get up and hobble to the locker room, you can get up and hobble to the ring and get the victory.
Well, they bumped off a scaffold to concrete because they missed the table halfway,
which is always a good idea. I mean,
and then they climbed another scaffold to take another bump to a shitty stunt bump,
which is again
stupid.
When you look down, you go, hey, look, there's concrete, let's land on it. It's always a good idea.
Well, they missed a table is what it was.
Well,
it was like 2 tables.
What happened is probably the person that came into the building and dug the concrete up, put the fake concrete down, probably put it in the wrong spot. That's probably what happened.
No, 1 table missed and 1 table caught. And then
what's happening is somebody's gonna be walking through the building and they're gonna sink into a hole.
Somebody's gonna wind up with some lawsuits. That's what's
we're supposed to be in the fake concrete. But yeah, so that's been us hating and talking wrestling. So
my fault. I didn't say jump off a scaffold ever in my life.
So the next time you decide to jump off a scaffold, watch some wrestling first.
And remember, you can't kill David Arquette.
That's it. Later, guys.